Hello there, Internet. It is a beautiful day at my favorite bench, my favorite park, slash nice close bench, a nice close park that I can walk to during lunch. Get some nice sunshine, show you what's going on. So no point in teasing you. If you clicked on this, you know what we're talking about. But it is a special day because we're talking about the Trillium. So first things first, let's just take a quick peek here. I didn't notice this at first. Those are little trilliums inside the trilliums. I didn't notice that was what they did for the center. You look at it kind of quick, you just you don't really pay attention to that, but that's a nice little detail. And this is a real simple plain little box, but can I just say, for whatever reason, I just really like the style of this box. It's simple, it's a really cool looking logo, really just a little bit of foam in it, and then there is, let's leave this here for you, right, like our little logo in the video. Ta-da! So what do we have? We have a Trillium. So this is it with the brass weights on it. Oh, right off the bat we get a good warp. But it is sunshiny outside, so. And the rumors are true. Does this thing break the laws of physics? Just about. She is a smooth spinner. If you've used a one drop bearing, you have an idea of what they feel like. And don't be discouraged if you can't get in the drops or these are too expensive and they're out of your range. They are, you know, getting those one drop bearings, you can really upgrade your game on a lot of other spinners. But we're here to talk about the Trillium a little bit today. Mainly, I think what I want to focus this video on is the Trillium worth 180 bucks? Yeah, that's right, it is 180 bucks. It's a big money spinner. I finally caved in, got some big money ones. I apologize. Sorry, not sorry. Just work overtime, work through lunches a couple days, and we'll be able to pay for that. So. Right now I have the brass weights on it, and that does increase the weight by more than half. So with these titanium weights, we're looking at 47 grams, I believe. I didn't bring my scale with me today, but check their website. Warp. With the brass weights, 97. So 47 doubled would be 94. Ooh, that was a good one. We're looking at 97 with these brass weights. So these brass weights add a lot of weight to it. So first, let's just kind of get into the details of the spinner. You've got a nice little button there. They have so their yo-yos use these little silicone rings, and I think this button was designed to be the exact space to be the center of those silicone rings that they cut out. So, but it's a nice little silicone pad. You can see it's raised up a little bit. It has a little bit of a squish to it. At first, it kind of felt a little weird. It almost felt a little weird that this was raised up a little bit. I think I still probably wish that was flush. A lot of people don't like these and take them out. And then I've seen a lot of people take them out and then use the second set that comes with it to put them back in because they actually like it more with it in there. I think, honestly, if you don't like it in there, you should just upgrade the buttons on it and then keep some nice soft buttons. But let's take it apart. Let's see what goes on. So these arms just have two weights that are threaded. And let's talk about the machining and the precision on this. Right, for 180 bucks, you expect it to be pretty precise. And these are really nicely fitted. There's like no play in there, and you'll see that it's got it's almost like kind of spring loaded. So as you tighten this down, you can see it's recessed a little, so that the brass ring lines it up nice in there and really holds this down nice and tight. So it's a pretty ingenious design because there's no bearing, that is the bearing retention method here, right? We take these guys off and that's it. So let's take the button off as well. And these buttons are nice. They're kind of rounded underneath, they're rounded on the side, they're nice. So. And that's open, so there's your one drop bearing. And then you get these two little arms. So you'll notice that they've got some numbers on them. I didn't do the math, maybe I'll put it in the comments. I keep calling it the comments in the little description down here. 158, 17, and 8. That's essentially their serial number system. It's the 158th day of the year 2017, and this is the 8th one made that day. 158, 17, 8. Just so you know how that structure works. I see a lot of people wondering what those numbers are if you have one. But if you have one and you're wondering what those numbers are, that's the least of your worries. So let's put this back together. We'll put the button back on. And we'll put the titanium weights on for a second. Now the titanium weights, I forced myself to use a couple days. So I have been pretty much EDCing this thing more or less since I got it. A couple days I left it at home to switch things out and try some other try some other you know, spinners just to rotate them out and get a feel for other things, and then really kind of compare it to this, because 180 bucks, right? It's a lot to spend. We might keep coming back to that point. And then when you see them going on the secondary market, right, people are selling them for like, it's not uncommon to see them being sold for 300. There's a post in the Daily Fidget. Join the Daily Fidget, my obligatory Daily Fidget plug. There's a post in the Daily Fidget where someone's doing doing this favor, and people are on board with this being a favor, and I am as well, where he's only selling it for $40 more than MSRP. He's only marking it up to $220, and that's actually like seen as like a favor. So again, these guys are in high demand. I'll link the page down below, but you really got to know ahead of time and get in on the drops. I was able to get in on both drops. I was able to snag one and help someone else in the Daily Fidget. That's what we do. We help people out over there. So it's really all about your cart process, right? It's not just completely luck of the draw. I mean, it is, but the people that were sad that they didn't get one, you know, and we're trying and all this is BS, I got one in both drops, y'all, because I practiced my cart process. I made sure I was logged in. I was able to successfully check out and hit purchase in about 10 seconds. So that's what it comes down to if you want something like this. So titanium weights are nice. They really change the feel. If you like a light spinner, you know, this is 47 grams. Spins real easy. After using the brass weights, it almost feels kind of cheap. Titanium, actually, like aluminum, really does, it hits that lightweight where it just feels cheap, where titanium still feels like a solid material, especially when it's kind of machined and has a nice finish like this, nice and soft, no hot spots anywhere. So that's kind of what we can expect with this guy, but solid spinner. The titanium, so like I said, I've been using the titanium for a number of days here. And I do prefer the brass. I kind of was like, oh, I don't like this titanium at all. Forced myself to use it, and I was like, oh, you know what? After, when this is all you've got, and then you're spinning it like this, you kind of can appreciate both weights. So a lot of people are looking for those stainless steel and other materials, and hopefully maybe some third-party people will make some custom arms for this, because I almost feel like the brass is a little too heavy, titanium's a little too light, but they feel nice. So if you like the lightweight design, or you want to anodize this or something like that, these look good. Over on the Daily Fidget, there's someone got nice and lucky and got an anodized one, and it just looks sharp. So I didn't do a spin time with the titanium weights. You're really not worried about spin time with this kind of spinner. But with the one drop bearing and the brass weights, I think I was getting about 3.5 minutes on a table spin, so not too bad. We're gonna put the brass weights on though, because that is my preferred setup on this. So come on, y'all. There we go. So you don't have, I've had no issues with these weights coming loose. They stay really solid. I think I don't know if it's intended to have sort of like that spring type effect that puts a little pressure on the threads to keep them from coming loose, but I haven't had to use Loctite or anything like that. And they've stayed good. You actually, I probably should do it now that I'm taking it apart, but I'm not gonna. But you can put there's no wobble, no play. You can put the titanium weights on one half and the brass weights on the other half, and kind of lighten that weight up a little bit. So it's probably gonna be somewhere in the middle in the 70 gram range, which is probably close to what the stainless steel would be anyway. You also can, if you like a little wobble effect, spin it with the, see that shaking? It's shaking my arm, shaking the camera. So you can kind of do that if you like the feel of something off balance. Again, it's nice. It's nice that you can kind of customize it. And again, the materials that it's using, the machining, the precision, all done in the USA, done in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon? Someone's from Oregon. Tell me how you prefer it pronounced. But yeah, for what it is and when it's made in the USA and all that good stuff, you know, I think we're good to go. So the smoothness, when I opened it up out of the box, and I've felt one drop bearings before, I was actually a little disappointed, because there's the slightest bit of flutter I can feel in the bearing, right? And you hear like this thing is like magical how smooth it is, and it's, you know, it's the magic of the one drop bearing. It is very smooth, and as I spun it, it's got a little better, and you can kind of switch that out. It does come with a second one drop bearing in there. You guys hear anything? Probably just barely. Right, so this thing's quiet. This is stealth mode. This is all your butter all day. No margarine, 100% milk fat? I don't know. But she's smooth. She's good. So let's talk about the spin characteristics of this guy a little more in depth and kind of how she feels. I mentioned this, I think, briefly in one of my, in the Woosah video that I did. But if you look, the buttons and the weights are almost the exact same height, so you really have to hold this the weight. Well, that was unexpected. We ran into some heat issues. My phone shut down from being in the sun, It is a black phone. I did have the brightness up, although I recorded there a few times on hotter days and it didn't power down. But in any event, powered down. What was I saying? I was saying this thing makes you hold it the way you want. I probably could have just cut that in, but then you'd wonder why we're sitting in the grass now in the shade. So yeah, you kind of have to hold this and spin this the way it wants you to, right? Like the buttons are real close to the same height as the arms here. And I find that this kind of spin, which is, as I spin more and more, it's become my favorite spin, right? You just pulling it in on your index finger works fine. Trying to push it off, especially with the brass weights, you can do it. It doesn't feel quite as comfortable as some of the other spinners I've had. But the way it spins, it really feels like it's meant to be spun like this. So I think I made the analogy of a race car, and I stand by that. This is something that, it's a performance piece, it's a show piece, and it's something that, kind of needs to be used a certain way. It's not something you just pick up and use any way you want. Obviously it's a spinner, and yes, I can flick it like this, but for me, it doesn't feel as comfortable. There's a big difference in terms of how that feels and just how this feels so right? This is where it feels nice. Whether I'm doing it in my right hand, in my left hand, this is what feels nice. If I get my thumb down too far, it rubs on that, so I really have to make sure I'm getting my fingers out. And I think that's a little bit of a drawback of this. It is the way it's designed, it's the way it is. It doesn't really change a whole lot about it, but it's something to consider, right? But again, if you're getting this kind of a piece, it's not, there are better, definitely all day fidgeters than this, but there is something special about this, right? There's something special about having a Bugatti. It's not a fancy car you're gonna drive around. Well, maybe it is a car you're gonna drive around all day, but like it's not gonna necessarily be the most comfortable ride, right? There are other more comfortable rides out there. You get yourself a Woosah, get in on that Woosah Kickstarter. You want something that you want to fidget with all day. Also, if you're seeing this, I hope to have it uploaded, but 8 o'clock tonight, Thursday, June 22nd, limited edition drop Woosah with R188 bearing. Super psyched, super stoked. Bill's got that hype train rolling heavy on the old Facebook group. So you don't know who I'm talking about? Well, you're not in the Daily Fidget then if you don't know Bill or any of the other folks over there. A lot of fine folks over there. So, yeah, so, comfort-wise, this guy is no hot spots, but again, it's not something you can just spin any way you want all day. For me, it is nice. I do spin it a lot. I do get a satisfying table spin out of it, even though it makes, like, no noise. Kind of hard to do in this box, but I think it makes no noise. You can hear kind of like the brass weights cut through the air a little bit, but that's about it. It's a nice reflection. It's nice to look at. It's nice to hold. Worth $180 was the question I posed to you early on. My answer to you is absolutely. Would I pay double that on the secondary market? Absolutely not. If you get a chance to get your hands on one, you'll absolutely love it. You'll know what the hype is about. Asked my brother, he came up to visit, had no idea what this was, let him spin it a little bit, and then kind of dropped the price bomb on him, and it's kind of like, whoa, really? But it is what it is. Part of that's exclusivity, part of that's American made, some of that's precision, some of that's the smoothness, some of that's the hype, right? So yeah, that's kind of been my my review of the One Drop. Sweet spinner. Is it a grail in my collection? Absolutely. Will I ever sell it? Probably not. I do plan on, honestly, I love the shipwreck. Probably do a shipwreck on these weights here. I'm not trying to like really maintain its value. I think I could do a good shipwreck that people would actually like and make it worth more. But I'm not worried about like ruining this or anything. I'll sand it down, I'll polish it. The arms polish up pretty good even with just a polishing cloth. This has got a little patina from using it for a couple days. But the arms do polish up really nicely without even having to sand them down and mirror it. They have like those kind of round, circular, machining marks and probably fingerprints now at this point that will rub out the edges and the corners, especially shine up real nice. So I did an unboxing video the day I got it. I was kind of all hype and in a rush, so I kind of did it sitting on the back of my my Subaru Baja in the parking lot. I might put at the end of this video, I'm going to rewatch and see if it's worth adding to this, if it really adds any content, just to see kind of my first impressions of it. But we're going to, I think we're going to leave it at that. So yeah, One Drop Trillium review. Love it. Dig it. Hype. Verified. Oh, you know what I did want to say? Part of my disappointment with this, you never see like, you hear like a movie is so amazing, and then you hear people say, hey, oh, it lives up to the hype. Same sort of thing with this. Everybody said it was amazing, then everybody that got one said, oh, it lives up to the hype. So by the time I got mine, it was kind of a situation where it had to live up to the hype of living up to the hype of the hype. So I was on kind of like 3 degrees of hype, and I think that's where a little of my initial disappointment came in, again, mainly because of the fidgetability factor and kind of the playing factor and that slight little flutter I had in the bearing, but I knew that's something I could just switch out. So, but it is a hype machine verified. Should we leave it with a warp? We always do, right? Peace. Oh, internet. The sacrifices I make for you. I'd leave this sitting on my desk all day because I didn't get a good chance to do an unboxing video with this before I had to go back to work after my lunch. So this has been sitting on my desk teasing me, but I wanted to do an honest unboxing for you guys. So I didn't want to open it up and fake it, despite prompting on Facebook. Been meaning to plug this as well. I get my little rants and just go on and on and on while I'm opening this up. To join the old Daily Fidgets on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you need to be on the Daily Fidget. One of the greatest online communities. Most of the time there's a lot of, you know how the internet is, right? You get a bunch of people together, everybody's got something to say. But no, the Daily Fidget is good people. Oh, let's take it this way. But what do we got here? You know what we got. If you don't know. It's a One Drop Trillium, y'all. Oh, look at this. I get, anyway, that's just silly. Ooh, heavy. Now I heard, I don't know if there's any truth to it, that these were all highlighted with like highlighter. It looks like it's printed on there. All the little yellow that's on there, but they also usually write little notes. Ooh, One Drop sticker. That's going on the case. Thank you, Timothy, for picking up a Trillium. Hope you enjoy. Look at that. Handwritten notes. Some good people's. All right, let's get in there. How's the sun doing? The sun's really coming in. It's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 5:30, so it's starting to set a little bit. Let's see what we got in the box. Pouchy. Foamy. Now, I'm a brass guy. We're going to put these on later and play around with it. I'm going to play around with the titanium a little bit, but I know I'm going to like that brass. Ooh, an extra bearing. So we get the brass weights that are heavy, boy. An extra one drop bearing and extra pads. I get the one I like those pads, so I see people taking them off. You guys ready? Bum, bum, bum. That is just ridiculous. What? What? Yeah, that titanium is way too light for me, y'all. What? Alright, so now that we've got the unboxing out of the way, I'm going to be able to play with this and then sit down. I've got to drive home, but I wanted to get that at least recorded for you guys. Alright, we'll see you in a bit.